Now, in the last video, I've shown you this chart about how the pricing actually work when you start an agency or a B2B business and run outbound. You think that the prices are really low because some tools are costing $100 or $150. But when you combine it, and this is a clear picture of that, then you realize, wow, where are my margins going? And I think that is the fundamental reason of the unit economics. You have to know your business. And so today I'll actually show you exactly what are the possible solutions for you, and I'll show you the way through which you can combine all of this at a one-fifth or one-sixth of the cost, which will actually perform all the tasks. You can find leads, you can verify them, and on the database that I personally built for you, which has real-time data that I will show you in a while that you can use and replace all the tools in one go. So let's start with the database. Now, right now you might be using Apollo, which is actually the traditional database. The problem with Apollo that I don't like, and most of the people don't like, is that it is a traditional database, which means that it has 2017 or 2016 data that is actually obsolete. People are changing their emails, they're constantly changing their LinkedIn About section. And so Apollo is not a reliable data source. And you might have experienced if you get a bulk email from Apollo that their verification rate, the bounce rate is really high. You have to verify and verify actually the leads you get from Apollo. And most of the verify that they take here, they see some of the email as verified, but those are not verified. You have to re-verify. So the cost actually goes really fast. And the problem with the Apollo is also that there are export limitations. You can't export big volume if you are an agency with a high volume. Even if you're a small team, you can't properly scale Apollo. So there are big limitations, and workarounds are really expensive and headache. So the problem with this database is you can't properly use it if you really want to have a high ticket, reach high ticket people, or scale your business or coaching. Now, the second sources we have is obviously Sales Navigator. Now, this is the world's most guarded platform. You can't extract data without being flagged, and your account will be burned. So the account that you spend your life building on, why would you risk it for a list of 1,000, 2,000, right? And this is a big mistake that people are doing. What they do, and I've seen them, the clients that comes to, is that destroy their accounts by just scraping a list of 1,000. So bulk volume data from Sales Navigator is very difficult if you don't have a proper infrastructure. And I'm talking about industry grade infrastructure like big bright data that you have out there. They have a big servers that they actually use and have thousands of old aged account that they use to actually scrape data, but that's not your source. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator is good just for personalized communication. It is a tool built for networking, not for mass volume, right? So you have to take that into account. So the primary databases that we have on Earth are actually these two. And then we have also Zoom Info, which we don't count because they have like higher, expensive one yearly subscriptions that people are paying for. But again, the data is not up to date. Now, most of the people, what they do is they use workarounds, like they use scrapers. That is actually one way to break through the databases and get most data without being flagged. And currently, the best scrapers people are using is Epify, or there are independent sources, but Epify is actually what most of the apps you see are built on. So there are multiple scrapers out there. It's a developer heavy tool. So if you don't have a tech background, it would be a bit difficult for you to actually build up, but still you can build it up. You can take help from ChatGPT or Claude. The problem with Epify is that there are multiple providers and developers. People just come here, they create their actors. Like you can see, you can scrape Google Maps, you can scrape TikTok, you can scrape any kind of, platform. But the cost of this actually, rise exponentially, and people don't understand how the cost actually works, right? So they charge per compute, and they also have a platform fee. So the tech and setup cost and headache is also on one side, but the cost of the actual scraping is on the other side. So if you compare Epify with some other providers, it is similarly like you're paying $300 to $500 for Apollo leads, right? So there is no matching of the cost here. Epify is both hard on the cost side and also hard on actually the headache that it is giving you. And obviously, it needs a lot of tech expertise to actually build these scrapers on your own. So I've shown you the traditional databases, the Apollo. So I've shown you the traditional. So I've shown you the traditional databases: Apollo, Sales Navigator, LinkedIn. So I've shown you the traditional databases: Apollo and Sales Navigator. They won't let you access their data without paying them. And if you want to bypass your limitation, you have to use scrapers like Epify Actor, which is the prominent one, to actually get data from there. But these workarounds are more but these workarounds are more difficult for a normal agency which is doing 4 to 5 clients or which is actually under 100K per month. So the problem comes here in the tech, and the problem comes in the management because it becomes really headache. And I've shown here that chaos doesn't scale. If you have all these tools coming in and you have multiple clients running in, so your churn increases, you can't retain clients because your margins just rises. I've shown here, like, the scrapers, email finders, email verifications, and the senders all combined actually cost much more than what you can operate on. And your agency become really a thin margin agency, which you don't want at the end of the day. Now, looking at all of this pain, we have built Actius, which is a data enrichment and a data scraping. And also we have an established 120 million database that is real time being updated constantly. And this is specifically built for B2B businesses like agencies and coaches like yourself, who is actually struggling to scale beyond 100K per month and have a predictable flow of clients that you can have. So if you come here to Actius.ai, what you see is we have a database structure, similar like if you have seen Clay, but Clay is the most expensive tool out there. You would find every feature that you can see in the Apollo or Sales Navigator or Clay combined in here at a fraction of the cost, and it's fast. It's solving all the problems that you have. Now, let's say we have multiple tables. You can come here, you can import your data from a CSV list, or you can scrape it from LinkedIn or Apollo or different other traditional databases. You have that access. If you want to reach out a wider net, you can use the existing scrapers. But as I mentioned, the Epify actors are costing 5x more than the scrapers that we are providing you. So you can bulk scrape the data that you actually need at a fraction of the cost of the traditional scrapers, and still you get access to LinkedIn, you get access to Apollo, and X, and also Instagram, and you can also export your existing data as a CSV. Once you have that data into a table like this, right, you can have tens of thousands of data points. Once you import your data as a CSV or extract it from different sources that I mentioned, you have multiple options. You can enrich the data with AI. You can find a website. You can scrape website, find email, verify phone number, or find phone number, and all other data points that is much comprehensive for a personalized email outreach or personalized outbound that you're doing. Because at this stage, at 2026, if your email or if your outbound is not personalized, it is not context driven, it has deliverability issue, then it will definitely land in spam. Because since 2020 we are observing the cold email space, the agency space. What is happening is the reply rates are dropping continuously because the servers like Microsoft or Google are cracking down on all fronts. Like, you have to have SPF, DKIM, mark, all the technical setup. Plus also you have to use copy that is non-repetitive, that don't have words which are triggering some sort of a spam approach, because there are a lot of people who are bombarding people, and they don't want that to happen. So you have to have a highly enriched data, and that's the enrichment option that you're getting in Actius are comprehensive. Now you also get an interesting option, which is autopilot. You can set it yourself. You can slide it down or up, any action that you want. You can first want to find a website, then write the AI email or script website or find email. You can set it up, apply it on all or some of the leads, and then you can maybe run it in the background, schedule it for some time. Like, you want to enrich the list at a specific time, you can do that. You can also run it now, and then you can just click on it, and then what it do is it just start the autopilot, and it start enriching the leads for you. Now, this is fundamentally a different data game that you comes here now, and you also get access to a database of over 120 million leads, and I'm talking about quality verified leads. So if it's not verified, it will show you that it's not verified. If it's verified, it will cost you nothing, right? So this whole data X that you're getting at a specific fraction cost. Now, this database is comprehensive. We're weekly updating it, removing all the old data and adding new fresh data. We'll also be adding signals in which we will have real-time marketing that you can see, if someone got revenue, if someone got like promotion, or, all the signals that are actually required. So you get all the three pillars of a data, like the scraping, you get the existing database, you also get the actual table function and enrichment that you would need for a fully functional system. Now, this is actually revolutionizing the entire database space because, as I mentioned, like traditional databases are charging high. They can't provide it the pricing that we're providing to you. If you're an agency or a coach or a business who really want to scale your operations beyond 100K per month, and you want a reliable data partner who actually give you the data that you need at a fraction of the cost, you can go to Actius AI and sign up there, or you can reply or leave a comment. My team will contact you. We will actually give you free credits, initially over 5,000, so you can get started and get some 2 to 3,000 free emails, so you can get started get your first client from there, and join our GTM Teams partnership program where we actually build out the entire infrastructure for your agency. I hope you liked the video. I will see you in the next one.